So today's challenge is to repair this side of the chassis leg. I think I might do this a little differently than that side, using some of the box section I got, particularly the 4x2 box section. I'm thinking I could make parts of it in sections. The outer shell of this, well, I'm probably going to regret this, but I think is okay along up to about here and sort of around to about there, so you can see a welded repair there already. And obviously this bit here is all blown and rotten, so I want to get this all out and repaired. I'm thinking by using cuts off of box section, I can use the edging. It'll be neater in the long run as well, and stronger. There's less chance of me warping it such a length on this piece. So that's what I'm going to try and do. Okay, so I'm going to concentrate on this section first and work my way back. I've got a replacement bumper mount to go into there, so once I cut this out and get that into place, I know where to work to. So make a start on that. Thank you. Right. Now you notice I wasn't so keen on or worried about taking measurements as I was last time. That's because I already have the measurements from the other side, so I can work with those. I pull that with a jig, it does need to come a little bit further forward. Something's not right here. Inch and a quarter from the face. There's me thinking this is going to be simple. As I've really good for it. Right, so levelling up from the ground there. Okay, after a lot of measuring and backwards and forwards and messing around, this is in the right place. I don't know, I just must have had some sort of brain failure for a second and I had a panic attack and thought it wasn't, but however, it is in the right place, so happy days. Lots of measuring and playing it out. It is where it needs to go. Right, so the next challenge is to make a start on repairing this, which is in a terrible state to be fair. I'm going to try and drill out these spot welds, find and drill those out. You can see using my new paint remover, which works a treat. Gotta go first. The next time I'll order the right ones, because these are the wrong size. The centre hole is too small. Yeah, I've got to say I'm really impressed with these. They work a treat. See how nice that's come up, and it's really highlighted where the spot welds are, so that's fantastic news. We'll send a punch them now and spot them out. Right, okay, made the decision. Cut this out pretty much all the way around here. How much can we got to view on this? Hang on, let's turn you around so you can see what I'm on about. Right, so looking at cutting this pretty much all the way along here, So let's mark myself a line so I know where I'm going to. See where an inch down gets us. That's a little chassis leg to cut out. What I'm thinking is if I cut basically a full length from there all the way down to there, work out how long that's got to be, then I can do some pie cuts around there too, so I can bring this piece down to join this and just then weld up the pie cuts, and I can do a job from this side to weld those in nice and neat, and then so that'll bring me the bottom piece in. And of course me kick up there, and then bring the top piece down to join that, I think. Right, let's good news is I've got that side as a reference now, so I can constantly go backwards and forwards, just make a mirror image of that side. So let's cut the basic length I need first. Crumbs. Well, that's a fail. Okay. You need to think of a way of cutting it without using. Right. Plan B on this idea. And try to see if this works. Use my jigsaw with a metal blade. Be a bit more controlled, hopefully. The heat from the plasma is just twisting the metal, even though that's pretty good gauge steel, there's still enough heat to twist it out of shape. So let's see how this goes. May just be the tension in the metal, so once I cut this out with a jigsaw, we'll see. So this is going to form the basis of the chassis repair. So what I'm going to do now is measure how far up from there I need to go. There, cut pie slots into those, and then bend this down to where I need it, so that it conforms to this angle here. Which one of these was it? That one. So this will then come down and follow that line around there. That's the idea. Something like that. This there. That's just going to be one cut right on this one, because we're coming this way now. What I thought to do is cut a bit of cardboard let's just square it off, and then move each other like that. That should be, I'll cut that out then. That should be the cut I need. Let's bring that up to that level. So if they're straight like that, I cut that little pie out, bring it up, that should be where they want to be. So we can mark that up here now. Right, so if I cut that little pie out of there and bend that up, that should be the right angle. Okay, so time to start trimming it to fit. This is where I'm at the moment with this. Again, it is slow progress, and it is just a case of tickling away at it bit at a time. But this is starting to come to a slightly nicer fit now. I've cut that back too far, unfortunately, but that's not the end of the world. I'll just put a plate in behind there, then tack that together very gently with the weld and fill that up with weld. But again, I'll do that gently because if I just go whack that load of weld down there, it'll distort like metal case. But it is getting there slowly, and same again here. There's just a slightly bigger gap there than I'd like it to be. That's probably get away with that with a bead of weld carefully again tacking into there. But what I am happy about this is it is fitting quite nicely. This I've decided is completely in the wrong place. It's not level, as you can see. There's quite a difference. That's probably about level there, and look at the angle that is. So that needs to be about there, possibly a little bit lower. So I'm just going to take measurements from this side and transfer them across onto that one, and happy days. So that's where we are. I'm going to crack on with tickling away at it and give you an update when I'm ready. Right, I think it's time to get a couple of tacks in and see where we're going. Right, I've got a measurement across from centre to centre of 24 inches, which I want to keep pretty good. Now that is hanging just about where it needs to be. But I know as soon as I put a weld on it, it's going to lose its position. Right, that's bang on 24 inches there, so let's get a clamp on that. Hold that in place. See, it's already moved a bit. There we go. Right, clamp on there as well, I think. Hold that while I get a tack in there. So just there. Nice. Lovely. Right, start pulling out with a hammer, get to where I want it to be. Right. Just stop that wandering away. Right, let's double check that measurement now. Right. 24, bang on. Happy days. Twenty-four. Lovely. Right. Next challenge, we'll bend that down. And just those. Okay. Just moving that around. Should stop that from moving around too much. Try again. Right, let's give the front panel a whirl. In the ring, I mean. Well, that's good news. It's lining up with the tech screw holes I put on previously. So we're pointing in the right direction. Actually, we're coming down the there a little bit. Right, let's measure again. Find my measuring stick. 24. 7 on the outside. It's looking good. Pocket. Line up. That's the question. Okay. Probably could have gone better than that. Okay, my brain's back in gear now, so let's get a line across from there. Where we're going to. $7.40. Left that on there until it cooled down. Huh, happy days. Not too bad. Right, the next thing to fill in is this gap down here. So let's make a cardboard template for the bit inside there and cut a piece out for that. Looking straight. This is where we're at the moment, and getting there slowly. Again, it's like all the other jobs, you just got to tickle away at it until it comes together. So I've just clamped that there for now. I've got the up flange to go along there and tuck in behind that yet. I just clamped it to see if we're in the right ballpark, and it's looking pretty good. I've drilled out down there. You see I've made a Sharpie line either side. I've done the same over there, so when I take that wing off, I can do the same, drilling through ready for the plug welds through. I need to drill through for these as well, which I'll probably do from underneath up. Be easier to get to. But it is coming slowly, and it is slow. It is. Thank you for your comments. Some lovely comments coming through. Really appreciate them. That gives me motivation. I wasn't that motivated tonight, I've got to be honest. It's go to work and then come home and do this. It was but a bit of motivation from the positive comments. It goes a long way. Thank you very much for that. Okay, so back at it. So what I need to do today, I'll take this off of here because it's too early to put that on. So I need to get this flange up along here, so it goes in, comes along here, kicks in there, and up around that section. And I've got this return to do down here as well, and trim these back. They're way too long. So that's what I'm going to do this morning and see how we get on with time. Need to make a return there as well. And I think there's supposed to be a return down on these as well, which I haven't done on that side, so I need to check some pictures of chassis rails online to see whether that should be the case. So the first thing to do is make myself some cut some material for that. So we're looking at 1/2 inch. Okay, so nothing really fancy or clever about how to do this. So we just want to step in this. Make sure we get this in the right direction. That way. So a bit like this, and a bit like this. Wedge it in there, square, and squeeze the vice up against it. That's the theory. And there we have our little step in it just there. So now we have that step in that one, which is to go around there somewhere. Okay, so that's got that stitched in. I thought this was filming, it wasn't. Duh. There we go. I've got a couple of flanges just tacked into there for now. I'll slowly, fully weld those. I'm trying to control the temperatures as best I can. I'm slowly starting to fill in the gaps there as well, bit by bit. So this then will fit nicely on there. And I just need to know where to put my tubes through now from the bumper bracket. So that's the next challenge to consider. Yeah. Not far off there, that's good. That's 28 and a half. Come forward a bit. Don't seem right. Let's see. 28 1/4, that's what you've done. Always measure again when things don't seem right. 28 1/4 it's supposed to be. Back to where it was. Pretty good there. Now we should naturally come into the right place there now, that one. Okay, so we're continuing to creep up on this. I've got this drilled out now ready for me plug welds. Clean that off. We're going to finish off fully welding along here and clean it off. I've got a couple of tubes now to fit in here, and as you can see, I've beveled them off to have a nice place for the weld to fit into. And same on this side, they fit in there quite snugly. in there. So I'm going to finish off fully welding here first, and again doing that slowly, trying to just minimise heat distortion, which I'm constantly fighting, constantly trying to keep an eye on measurements. I'm not going off on any funny tangents. Keeping straight so far, so that's good. Happy days. Slightly around like that. Oh, that's not right. What am I doing? Forgot my trace goes. That was a challenge. Right. Right, let's get these tubed in the right place. Looks good. Square with that. Happy days. still looking pretty good. Right, so here we are. Chassis leg is almost complete. It's got some finishing off to do with finishing off the welds and the grinding it up and making it look pretty. I've got a flange to put under there to match that side, so that's to come out onto there. But it's looking like a chassis leg should do, so I'm happy about that. And everything still lines up, it still looks nice and straight, as does that one. So happy days. We're getting there slowly. Okay, progress report. We are very close now. Show you how it's come together. Quite happy with that. They've got a bit more work left to do down in the corner there. But I think before we put any more heat into this and distort it anymore, because I've had to get a jack underneath the front there, because the front had dipped down a little bit. So I had a bottle jack and actually forced that front of the chassis leg up back into where it belongs, so the gaps are right over there. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do next before we put any more work into that chassis leg is get the inner wings prepped and welded into place, and the front panel prepped and welded on. That way the whole front end now is going to be nice and strong and tight, and when I come to fill in those little welds up over there, the distortion won't be so serious, because it's got too much to pull against anyway. So this is where it's looking. Had the bonnet up and down. It's nice on the bonnet lines. I'll shut that down to show. So that's it with the bonnet shut down. You can see the line, the wing is nice there. Same along there, it's following the bonnet line nicely. Same again across the front here, it's following the bonnet line nicely. This has got a bit of deflection in it because that's just the nature of the flappy panel. But once I've got the actual front panel on there, that's going to be nice and tight. And this is nice and level across there, so get a level on there and lovely. So that's what really matters. So quite happy with that. That's come out quite nice. Actually that chassis leg wasn't as much of a nightmare as I was expecting it to be. I think the other one was more difficult, as it happens. So happy days. So I think that'll be the subject of the next video, is getting the inner wings and the front panel prepped and fitted, which you should see a big jump forward then in the visual of it, at least. So happy. This is progressing quite nicely.